name is Beverley Smith. Welcome to my home studio. I live in Grey Highlands in the Beaver Valley. This show that I'm having now is called It All Starts with a Scribble, and that's how I start working. And I have incorporated a lot of scribbling in this artwork. My show opens April the 5th. I went to an artist residency in Tuscany, and the residence is called Macina Di San Cresci, where most of this artwork was done, and I'm going to return for a third time this fall. I would describe my work as being original, ever evolving, and colorful. It is a mixed media. I love weaving with beads, but I want to take them a step further. So I will use collage, I'll paint. So I was a textile artist and I really loved weaving tapestries with yarns. When I looked at beads and I realized I could weave with beads and do tapestries, that really interested me to work on a smaller scale with such a variety of colors and textures of beads. And I started weaving with beads and I've never gone back. When I started weaving tapestries with beads, I really wanted to incorporate my other interests as well, which is painting, drawing. And it was really my first year at doing the Tuscan residence that I took a whole bunch of materials and I had the time and the opportunity to experiment with putting beaded pieces on different backgrounds. So when I start working on a piece, sometimes I start with the drawing and sometimes I start with the beading. I don't know why, but sometimes I just have this urge one way or the other, and then I try and marry the two together during the process. Interestingly, people, when computers first came along, everybody said, oh, you must do a lot of your design work on computers. No, give me paper, graph paper, pencil, graphite, and an eraser. When people see my artwork, they're looking at a combination of techniques and materials that are new to most viewers. So I hope it takes them on a little, an exciting new outlook on art. I mean, I agonize over what goes where, but I get very excited about that process. And doing the beading, doing the painting, cutting up the painting, laying them out, it really just, your head goes into a whole different, a lovely space. I think the most frustrating part for me is, as a lot of artists, is that you second guess yourself. And I usually start out with, this is just going to be fabulous. And by the end of the day, I'm totally doubting all of it. But I come back in the morning and go, no, it's not that bad. And then I get all involved and I get pretty excited about it. But I get I second guess myself, I get frustrated with myself, but that's the challenge. If it all just came easily, you might get bored. So in 1986, when we moved in, this was my studio, and in 2002, I decided to start a retail store and teach beading, sell beads, which I did for 12 years, and I called my business Holy Crow Beads. I wanted you to walk in and say, Holy Crow, and fall in love with the space as much as I had. And after 12 years, I decided to close my business and just bring the studio back to being my place. I have an area where I can draw, a drafting table where I draw. I have this work table that I love standing at, whether I'm painting or collaging. I have an area where I have my loom, my bead loom, and then another big round table. I could take up every ounce of space. If I had a football field with tables, they'd all be full of things. Oh, what do I like best about my studio? Well, I've got a wood stove. I have music piped down here windows look out onto a peaceful yard, down to the pond, the big beams. What's not to love about this room? So in 2023, I applied and was accepted to go to be an artist in residence in Tuscany, in the Chianti area of Tuscany. And the residence is called La Macina Di San Cresci. And I returned last year and I'm returning again this year. We don't teach, nobody teaches us. You just go and work individually on your artwork, or you can just go for walks if you want. And you're with other artists from around the world. It's a wonderful experience. So the residence, the artist residence, was begun, the building in 947 by the church. So it was built, the monks and the priest lived there. They pressed olives, they made wine. And I'm thinking, wow, monks making olive oil and wine all alone in the hills. I think, what's a pretty good life. I discovered the residence. I just went online and put in artist residence. It was something I'd never done, and I thought I should do this. It looks like a neat thing. They're all around the world, and they're all for different lengths. They have different criteria to get in. Some just sound like somebody had a couple of extra rooms and you could go. This one you had to apply. You send in your resume, what your plans are when you're there. It had a little more structure. So by the process of elimination, I applied to 4 or 5, and this one appealed to me the most. It's quite remote, and it's amazing. The complex is big, and there's a farmhouse attached that we don't have anything to do with. There's 2 apartments for the artists that have bedrooms and shared bathrooms. 3 kilometers straight up the hill from a small town, Greva, where you go and buy your groceries, you do your own shopping. I think why I love it so much is that you are living in this ancient building. Just to be in that environment and with the views, when I leave the little apartment that I'm in and walk around and walk down this road and in, the views are saying every single time I walk it, I just take it in. I think, oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. And to be in Italy, I mean, it's such a lovely culture. The people are relaxed, friendly. It's the couple that run the residence are artists themselves, architects, industrial designers. They're interesting and welcoming. I wanted to see in the residence, going to residence, how I would work outside of my own studio. And I also wanted the opportunity to challenge myself in a new setting. And hopefully, and it did, it brought about a new way of working for me. I came up with some new thoughts, some new challenges. So it really has served its purpose. You just do these pieces without thinking about what is their purpose and how are they going to be put together to this fabulous piece of artwork. That is to be discovered in Italy, not here. So I know now, just you take a whole bunch of things and they give me my whole huge table and I put it all out and then I make the discovery there. People often, don't you want to go somewhere new? I go, no, I'm so comfortable there and productive. The newness for me is what I'm going to make. That's what's good. That's the adventure. Art has always given me such pleasure. It's been always my escape into that world. And as any child, you toy with being a marine biologist or an airline stewardess or an actress, but it was always art.